Welcome, ladies and gents. Peter Pan and Wendy. The reviews are in, and it's not looking good. So it's pretty mixed, but you know, it's our usual sorts that are loving this this movie. And interestingly, most people are just like, yeah, I mean, Jude Law's the reason you want to watch this. To be fair, you know, I mean, this one from TV Line. Peter Pan and Wendy review Jude Law's Captain Hook is the reason to watch David Lowery's Disney Plus movie. That's it. And then we have further up, you know, Peter Pan and Wendy review Jude Law has fun in a so-so reinvention. But again, like I said, the usual sorts. The Telegraph, love it. The Times, this won't hook you in. Good. I mean, not good, but you know what I mean. The AV Club. This remake lacks the pixie dust. Delivers a rote Disney reboot. I don't know what that means, but alright, fine. So yeah, it's I mean, it's pretty much bombed, to be fair. So let's take a look at some of these reviews because they are absolutely hilarious, as you all know, and we're gonna have a good time with some of this stuff because, you know, why not? These things are always good and enjoyable. So the AV Club, you know, Peter Pan and Wendy review Disney Plus remake lacks the pixie dust, adapting well-known and much beloved animated features and making them look and feel refreshed for a whole new generation is a tall order, which this didn't need. This whole like new generation business, that didn't need to happen. This is timeless for a reason. Just keep it timeless, right? Just keep it the same. Many have attempted it, but only a handful have truly understood how to do it properly. David Lowery's live-action iteration of Pete's Dragon did the seemingly impossible feat of turning a lesser-known property into a genuinely compelling, charming boy and his dog story revolving around a feral child and his furry dragon. Blah, 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 blah. Lowery innately knew what the practically patented Disney magic entailed, and he delivered in spades. Unfortunately, that same sense of wonder and spectacle has not completely carried over to Lowery's second offering for the studio, Peter Pan and Wendy, which has been sent straight to their streaming service, Disney Plus. This adaptation combines the fundamental building blocks from J.M. Barrie's 1911 novel and Disney's 1953 animated film to both greater and lesser effects. By changing elements for legitimate reasons, it becomes a diverse it's a legitimate reason to change things to make it diverse. That's not a legitimate reason, that's nonsense. But whatever. But it also loses a lot of what made its predecessors memorable and magical. What? Those are rather contradictory statements there. While it's assuredly not one of the worst, oh good, nor one of the best, you know, but it is up there with Pete's Dragon, oh blah blah blah, Cinderella's up there, Pete's Dragon. It's a lackluster letdown whose potential for greatness goes unrealised. I don't think this ever had the potential to be great, but fine. Absolutely fine. So they don't really like it. It's pretty poo. Lowery and frequent collaborator Toby Holbrooks update the story with clever modifications that give characters a refurbished sense of autonomy. Not only does Wendy have a stronger arc than in previous incarnations, her journey holds greater emotional weight than Peter's. That's right. Gotta push that man down, whose turn from self-centered to selfless is entirely unearned and stretches credulity. She's courageous and witty while facing down obstacles and figuring out that growing up is an important step towards her happiness. So basically, whammon, I guess. What? Why? Nonsense. Anderson digs into these deep layers with bravura. Tiger Lily and her tribe are no longer Native American caricatures as offensively portrayed in cartoon form, but authentic people speaking Cree, not being mocked by a bunch of bigoted white kids. What? I don't remember any of that. The Lost Boys are a diverse diaspora of different personalities, rabble-rousing free spirits who value friendship first and foremost, and they're not all boys. That said, the filmmakers do a disservice to that. This is what I mean. You can't sit there, frame it as amazing, and then go, but they do a disservice to the source material. Yeah, because they butchered it, you dickhead. What is wrong with these people? Seriously? There's a fine line between arrogant and smarmy, and this Peter Pan is the latter. Oh, I love it. Yeah, he did come across smarmy in the trailer. His rude attitude grates rather than ingratiates him to us. There's a way to make a character full of himself and have it be entertaining and funny, but these filmmakers fail to do this time and again, detrimentally affecting Maloney's performance as he demonstrates no charisma. Shahidi is a capable presence trapped in an underutilised and underserviced role. Tinkerbell is jettisoned to the background, given little to do, and certainly nothing delightfully... I mean, this is ridiculous. This is hilarious. But they made it diverse, so it's fine. You know, it's fine, isn't it, guys? God, fucking idiots. Bland fight choreography that mimics kids' basic pretend plays repeated during every action scene. Oh, this is great. This is great. Hook's wrath and expose him as a bit of a buffoon. Doesn't feel, look or sound immersive. We're always keenly aware of the artifice involved. It's a shame that no adaptation has ever been able to capture the full cleverness, wit and creative perspective on childhood and imagination as Barry's original. Well, that's because they keep trying to change it, you idiots. And you're praising them for changing it, and then you're like, oh, but actually it's not that good. Well, no shit, Sherlock. That's kind of what happens when you change stuff all the time. Absolutely hilarious. They gave this 3 stars. 3 stars as a so-so reinvention. You're going to give something that's so-so 3 stars. What's wrong with you? Goodness me. The increasingly rotten trend of turning classic Disney animations into wretched live action or photorealistic remakes looks set to reach its nadir with next month's release of The Little Mermaid. Already a viral nightmare for its horrifying confirmation that adding lips to both a crab and a fish is indeed a crime against humanity. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, release of the inoffensively fine Peter Pan and Wendy. Inoffensively fine? So-so, you give it 3 stars. What? Oh, goodness me. It almost seems foolish at this stage to question the necessity of such a thing, given the crushing commercial inevitability of it. But it's impossible to watch yet another take on J.M. Barrie's impish hero without wondering why we're here once again. Yeah, it didn't need to be made. But remember, ladies and gents, remember, diversity. That's why. The lack of broader public appetite might also explain why Disney's Peter Pan and Wendy is flying onto Disney Plus rather than risking a theatrical release. That's because of a bomb. A smart decision, for it also vastly lowers expectations in line with their other downgraded remake of Lady and the Tramp. It's a slightly more impressive beast, visually grander and with a tad more thought behind it. And you gave it 3 stars. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Again, David Lowery, he even says it here, the art house auteur, better known Ghost Story and The Green Knight. I mean, he's a good director, but Christ, they really wrecked it here, didn't they? Oh. While Peter Pan and Wendy isn't as carefully crafted nor as emotionally transcendent as Pete's Dragon, it still represents a solid one for them paycheck gig. Lowery, along with... If your reviewer is acknowledging that this is a one for them film, that's not a good film. What he means by that is directors normally do a one for me, one for you. I.e., you know, I'll do a film that is just good for me, something that I want to, you know, get involved in. And then I'll do a film for the studio to get some money. A paycheck film. And he's acknowledging here that this is a paycheck film. And he gave it 3 stars. Fucking hell. Oh my god. Juvenile far-right lunatics have already whined about the film's diversity. Tinkerbell is played by biracial actor Yara Shahidi on charming form. And the Lost Boys are now lost boys and girls of different ethnicities. Yeah, but you can't justify it, can you? A talking point only for people who can barely string a coherent sentence together. Well, I can assure you, my grasp on the English vocabulary is quite wide. Oh, and also diverse. So I can string a coherent sentence together. However, when approached and asked, these kind of plum bum faces can never string a coherent sentence together as to why it's a justifiably great thing to praise merely swapping people out for different things. You just can't. For the rest of us, talking points are scarce. The film's a mid-level retread that never quite finds enough to distinguish itself. But then perhaps, did you question yourself that actually some of that mid-level retread is actually due to the fact that all they were doing was hell-bent on pushing, you know, a narrative of, well, we just got to swap people out because why not? Rather than actually making a good film. Did you think about that? Because that's potentially what's happened here, isn't it? Anyway, whatever. Law is Lowry's ace, giving a full-throated performance as an embittered Hook. The actor further edging into his 50s with scuzzier roles that subvert the pretty boy arrogance of his on-screen youth. Fine, whatever. There's some, if not quite enough, texture to his relationship with Peter. The latter played as a selfish and impetuous egotist, almost fascinatingly veering into villain status. So they've made Peter Pan a fucking villain. This is the biggest load of bollocks I've ever read. This film sounds like utter trash, and the people praising it, I mean, again, they're the usual sorts, so kind of what you expect. But let me know what you think of this. This is absolutely hilarious. I mean, this bombed universally. All the trailers get bombed straight to Disney Plus. I mean, it's a bomb. But remember, far right. It's all far right people going, why do you swap people out? Oh, because the far right, that's why. Of course. Ridiculous.